go live and just let people just see. And then just share here. Copy. Alright, so let's try this again. So edit. Hopefully no one's on. Edit RSVP. Maybe this is where I messed up. No, because it worked fine. Paste. Okay, save. Yes, sir. But how can I help you?
Subscribing to these changes, yes.
Just trying to get the live working. Do you think I should bother putting them in here? They're too big.
Huh?
I feel like it's too big
What?
to use these for that.
How many?
No, one of each.
No. How do I know if? Oh, let me go. Let me.
Oh yeah, true. Check.
No, it should
check
be
me.
here. No, it'll be here, right?
Oh yeah, so get out. It's already saved. I saved it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Where's the live stream?
Maybe maybe in details.
Where?
Up. Oh no, here. Edit, manage. That's
No,
fine.
but why?
Oh
It's
no,
public.
this is public. Okay, then go up. Up
Here. Oh.
and events. Here. Why didn't it come up? How can I help you, Steve? You got it. Would you like some ice? Nothing, huh? Maybe it's gotta be Google. It's gotta be like the settings here.
Choose to record it so you can watch later. Live stream link when ready. You can embed the YouTube link directly onto the website. What were we saying to do?
I think the setting is gotta be like the Google setting, not the YouTube settings.
So you know what? So let me try. So let me go to the event.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, okay, good. All right, so let me just put that. They can watch until it's time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little chair over there that I'm gonna put, but for right now, I don't know actually. Maybe just make some. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Just turn it. Yeah.
There we go. Yes, ma'am.
I don't think I need it. Okay.
We're good now. I'm gonna do. Congratulations, is it father?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you get some too? That doesn't eat any.
I want some shrimp.
Yeah,
Did you try me?
I didn't eat a full meal, but I did eat.
You at a house?
Fish Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese is not good food. Never had Swiss cheese. Great. I've never seen it. They're great.
You're on live.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I didn't know how to schedule it, so we're going live now. Oh, sorry, yeah. Tom, my plan is you're gonna do it for me, but I just couldn't figure out how to schedule it. I just went live now.
I think we will end up. Where do you think is my water?
Right there.
So you should put some chair right here.
The hot, yeah. Can I put it next to it?
Looks like ham.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's egg.
Nothing.
We're doing this first.
I'm sorry about your Of course, my pleasure. So I wasn't able to figure out how to schedule the live. That's why we're live now. I figured let me just go on a little bit before. But are you able to hear like the room? Or is it off? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, and the video looks good. Okay. My plan is you can see this girl right here, the purse, the white purse. My plan is to put the computer there while I was speaking. So it should be a little closer. Okay. I'm gonna put it down.
Does that bother you at all? Okay. I don't know if we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Oh, we're gonna do a test audio. So
Shit.
hello.
I don't think so, right? You know, I might have a microphone. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. I found it.
I'm like, don't say something like that. Never seen it. That's it. This is their cousins for there, they abandoned her. Go grab a rat.
She's got a crochet. She's like, "Oh, you need all your stuff in my bag." She's like, "It's just crochet stuff." Like, "How am I crochet stuff?" It's like,
It's like here. You don't get my wallet.
yeah, like, you're like, take my wallet, take my wallet. So maybe we can set that up, right?
Oh, yeah.
I like, they have, raspberry and the strawberry green one. I like
I like the strawberry.
Oh, I just like the strawberry.
It smells like you heard them in Yeah. No, I do not. No, me and Jada do. We get reasons. Me and Jada share. Yeah, Jada loves me. Me and Jada share. No, it's out. Jada, stay on track. Stay on track. You'll get I'll get the door. They're all right there.
But that was something more like in my. Jada recently.
She just, they're right there. I can see her.
Is she right? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not in job.
I can see y'all there a little bit. I can see it up there.
Really, it's my aunt Margaret. You may have heard all these names a million times when I was growing up telling the story.
Mama wasn't over there?
I mean, we were the only ones.
Mama.
This is my aunt Brenda.
All y'all from Kentucky too? Originally? San Diego, Huntsville. Okay. That's different. You know what I mean? So the cow, that's the difference now. That's all the way on the other side.
Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me. In a few minutes, we're going to start some speeches. We would like to use the rest of an hour at the time, and then we'll be starting in a few minutes, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something about obligation. I know, but
You can't go back.
you can't. It's part of talking to Terry. Responsibility.
Like, boy, hey, God, I raised me like this. Step up like this, handle it like this. All the
Secondary drive. I'm trying to be too much.
Yeah, but I believe
There's a water. I can grab it up there, like corner,
I got you.
Almost standing at the place. Probably just about where.
Don't get hurt when I go to work on the internet. Yeah, so there's it's called it's a small little it's like I get everything. I really think all the way down. This is where the road is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Awesome. Thank you guys and welcome for being here today to celebrate the life of someone who has been so much to so many. Mr. Albert Lee Harris. Mr. Albert Lee Harris was born April 6, 1950. 20 years later, 1970, the #1 song that year on the radio was Here I Am, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours, which is a testament of someone who's so special and bigger than life in his own rights. Mr. Albert Lee Harris has obviously touched so many lives. Now, although this is a day of sadness, this is also a day of love, a day of memories, and a day of celebration and honoring someone, again, who has meant so much to so many. So again, with that being said, we're going to ask the chaplain to lead us off in prayer before we continue on, okay?
Hello, hello, hello. So I'm as unorthodox as the person we're talking about. I'm Chaplain Brad from the Vet Center up there in Pompano Beach in West Sample. Yes. And when I got my service dog, Al was the one who helped me in training. And we now have about 300 veterans getting service dogs because of what Al did for me in that vet center one day. I'm gonna cry, so don't worry about it. I'm gonna give you the prayer, but I gotta say what I'm gonna say because once I start crying, I'm done. I've known Al for 4 years. 4 years. Me and Al met like it was church. He was not a religious man. He made that quite clear the first time we met. But he was a very spiritual person. And we talked in depth and at length about what he loved and what he believed. And I'm looking at all of that in this room. We have talked about Dobermans and dog training. We have talked about Vietnam. We've talked about wives, ex-wives. We've talked about family. We've talked about sleep clinics and entrepreneurship. We talked about being a chef. I was a chef in the military for 20 years. He talked about food service. He talked about park rangers, for God's sake. He talked about everything he absolutely loved. He talked about Marines and grandson. When mine graduated from Paris Island, well, let me tell you, I got one too. Okay, Al, I got me good. You couldn't beat him when he lived, and if you had it, he had it. But the one thing we're going to miss about Al is Al came every week. And when I got there 4 years ago, well, yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, there was no faith group, the men's group. And Al went to the Vietnam. Al was at the vet center like 3 times a week. He did yoga. He did all kinds of stuff. I think he did a stick with the guitar one time just to make sure people felt it. But Al would leave the Vietnam group and come to the next room and sit with me for an hour and do a men's group. He said, I don't go to church, but this is my church. And he was there faithfully every week. When I wanted to quit, Al was there to say, no, we don't do that. We don't quit. I don't know if he ever told y'all that, but he made it quite clear to me. We don't quit. We don't quit. You're here for a reason. Then he would throw his most popular word that we've all learned at that vet center. You just need to surrender. You fighting yourself. Stop fighting yourself. Just surrender. It's going to be all right. And no sooner I tell you, he was never lying. I would surrender, listen, and it worked its way out. Al was a mentor and a friend. Al was as old as my father is, but treated me like I was just another service person from the military. His love was undeniable. I love the fact that he was accountable and he held us accountable. I love the fact that he didn't hide who he was and he didn't hide from his mistakes. He shared them openly, was vulnerable, and let us know, I didn't do this, and I did this. And he would tell you to the point where you could trust what he was saying. That's why I told you I didn't cry. Once I started, I knew what was going to happen. Is Al is still with me. And I want to offer to the sons and daughters, if you need grief counseling, I just happen to be the grief and loss counselor. So, and that's without circumstance. Mourning is a community. We mourn together. But grief, only you feel about Al the way you feel about Al. Only you feel about Al the way you feel about Al. Only you feel about Al the way you feel. And all of your grief is going to be separate. But we come today to celebrate because Al, the love, grief is asking me one question today. And I'd be remiss, and he knew I would if I didn't tell you this. Grief is asking you one question. What do you do with the love that remains? The grief triggered is he's not physically with us. You feel that, right? But the love is asking you, what do I do now? In April when his birthday comes around. I hope y'all throw a party and have my phone number, let me know. I'm en route. I hope you don't forget all of the love and life that you all have shared, because that would truly be a tragedy. He was a Marine who through and through. He let that be known and be made. Normally I would sing a song, but my voice is not the best, so I'm not going to torture you. But I will offer a prayer for your strength and for your guidance. Those that would, you may bow your head if that is your custom. Most kind and gracious, loving, eternal God, we ask you into this place, in this space, and in this time. When we are feeling the love, when we are feeling the memories, when we are feeling the weight of the loss, when we are feeling and happy to feel, because that lets us know that we still have something of love to carry for Al in this life. We thank you, oh God, for the strength of family. I thank you, oh God, for the faces that go with the stories. I thank you for the love that I genuinely feel in the room. I ask you, oh God, right now, to each heart that is still pondering maybe a why, that you give them in surrender a time when they just begin to understand some things just are. And we thank you for having loaned us out for the many years that he was here. I thank you for the grace and power that you have in this room. And I thank you for allowing that Marine to find rest. We give you glory and honor in all things. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your power and peace. In the matchless name of all that is wonderful, holy, and in creation. Amen. Amen.
Now, as I stood here, since I've been here, I stood in the back there, and I watched everyone. I even shaking a few hands. And I'm like, I'm not going to cry, because I lift weights. But I was like, I'm not going to cry, but some of the hands that I've shaken, you can feel the power, you can feel the emotions and the touches. And I've seen his daughter fight back tears, throughout since we've been here. I've seen that. I've seen his son fight back tears. When I've shaken the hands of his grandson, I saw him, the strength. And I was like, okay, so when I first came up here, just before the chaplain, I don't know if you heard the cracking in my voice. My voice is a lot smoother than that. It is. You should hear me on the phone. It's very romantic. But my voice, it was cracking earlier because I'm like, there's a lot of power in this room to have so much love for someone that is still here. And I'm just glad that I can be a part of it. I'm glad that I can see at least feel the emotion in this room. So I'm here, and I want to be here, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about this powerful man, this special man. And with that, we're going to call up some family members, starting with Alex, the younger brother, to come up here and say some things. But I'm looking forward to hearing more about this. Sorry, did I start it?
Yes, you did.
They called me last.
All right. Anyway, I'm Albert's youngest brother, Alex. I wasn't prepared to say anything in particular because I'm still just dealing with this whole process myself. I was honored to have Albert as a brother growing up in that small coal mining town. Because of our age difference, we weren't that close. Albert loved to hunt. Like he taught his son to hunt, loved to fish. I was hoping one day I would learn those things from him. But because of the age difference, I guess it never happened. He did try to teach me how to play baseball. Hit me in the eye with a ball, and I hate baseball. But the thing about my brother, what I learned from him as an adult. When I got older, married, had children of my own, got out into the world, my brother and I got closer then. He basically became my advisor. I don't think he and I have ever talked more than we did over the past 25 years, calling each other often. I didn't always realize that he was giving me advice. I wasn't always seeking advice, just to hear his voice, to talk to him and, find out that he was okay and everything was all right. But through all of his wisdom, he always gave me peace. He always gave me good advice even when I wasn't seeking it. That's what I love about my brother. He taught me, as you said, humility, to be humble. He taught me about spirituality through his faith and his beliefs. And I truly love him for that, because I think through it all, it made me a better man, made me a better husband, a better father. And I miss him dearly, especially because I recently moved back to the East Coast so I could be close to family. And I was so looking forward to spending time with my brother, to seeing this beautiful city that he lived in and being amongst the beautiful people and friends that he has here. I'll never get that chance, but it does give me peace to see it through the eyes of everyone here. And I thank you, and may my brother rest in peace, and I thank him for his strength and his resilience and his wisdom. And God bless you all. Thank you.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying. I don't want to put you on the spot. I know you said you wanted to wait till last, but I know there's something you want to say. And I want to call you up. I'll leave.
I'll take a spot as last.
Thank you guys for coming out. My father is a very great man. And that's apparent by the presence that all of you guys being here. And I get the same results, the same feedback from everybody that I speak to. And, it's never that he's just dad, but he's, daddy, hey, but then when I'm talking to everybody else and everybody's got their experiences with him. And then I remember, who's this guy they're talking about? My dad has just touched so many people, on such deep levels. Some of the stories, I was good listening to, and I was fine. And then after hanging up that phone, I would have one of those moments where water sometimes, falls from your eye or something like that. And, we just come from such good stock. I praise God, for being so fortunate that I could have had any father in the world, let alone just existing in this realm of existence, this lifetime, that I was fortunate enough to have that man as my father in such a world of seemingly insane things. And his presence is never gone. The first law of physical energy is that it's neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form. That's the first law of physics. And so is the spirit of Allah, of God. So my father is still with us. And the words that he gave and the lessons that he taught and the presence that he was in each individual, it's going to live on through us. And we can get through, the tough times by the good energy that he radiated. It helps us get past the bad and the sorrow that we feel from him not being here. We come from a long line of people here in the United States. My great-grandmother told us stories. I remember asking for projects about how my grandmother even ended up in Kentucky. Some of my great-granduncles had some run-ins, not with the law, but with some evil people with evil intentions in Alabama. And some evil people got dealt with, so they went to Kentucky in the coal mines. and found safe, good work and everything like that. And that's where my grandfather, my dad's dad, moved there with his son, my dad's dad, and then my grandmother, the Barneses. And, later, my dad was a preacher at one point when he's 13 years old. Not many people know that. He met Stevie Wonder. He met Aretha Franklin's father in Detroit. My father has, his father's side of the family is in Detroit. And he used to tour on what they call the Chitlin Circuit through all the black safe towns that were safe for Black Americans. And he used to preach. And, he was very inspirational to people since a very young age. This was a special man, my father. He later went to the Vietnam War. He taught me about so many people across the planet Earth, about the elders in Vietnam and how he spoke with them for hours and hours about Buddha and Buddhism and the Black Buddha and stuff. And then after the Vietnam War, he came back and he worked with Ford or Chevy. I can't remember which one it was. But he lived through some turbulent times, in America, how it was back then, if we know anything about it. And from there, I don't know why he met my mom in Ohio. But my mommy was in the Army Reserves. Oh, he was with his friend Chester, and they moved out there for whatever reason. But Sylvester, I'm sorry, I'm hurt right now. And I was blessed enough that my dad met my mom, because without that, I just wouldn't be standing here to tell you about the experiences of that man being my father. And I'm glad my mom saw in him what everybody else apparently saw in him as well, to have some boys. He only made boys. My oldest brother, I'm sure he's watching on video. I think this is live or something like that. He lives in Chicago now. My brother Kevin, and then my sister's here. My other brother AJ is here, and we were born in Illinois. Kevin was born in Kentucky, and then we moved to Florida in the 90s, and the rest is history. My father was a mentor to some of my friends, some of my homeboys, touched a lot of lives. My father's biggest thing that he always reiterated in us was love. Love, respect, high morals, self-discipline, and balance. Nobody's perfect, nobody's holy, but we're ever perfecting and striving to be better. And to give people chances, but don't let it become a fault to start to cause you any type of detriment, but give someone the benefit of the doubt. Don't assume, never judge a book by its cover, and that love knows no form. My dad would talk and speak to homeless people on the street, 30, 40 minutes, taking us to the barbershop. I'm like, what's, as a kid, but it's not like a grown man now, like, oh, it's home. It wasn't like that. But it's like, what could my father be talking to these people about, But just like, prophets and scripture and everything like that, he was genuinely having good conversations with these people, understanding their story and having compassion and speaking to them about whatever they got through. And I'd like to think that now at this grand old age that I'm at, that some of those people, it made some significant changes in their life from what seemed to be just a conversation. I have no doubt in my mind that had to happen with some of those people, And he always reiterated that to us to carry on those same values and never judge people, there's no big I's and no little U's, is what Daddy would always say. He also was big on having a can-do attitude. We were not allowed to say finna. We were not allowed to say nigga. We were not allowed to say I can't. We were not allowed to say that stupid and things like that. It's I can and I will. And you will be a civilized, respectful, loving man. We were supposed to be, my dad was kind of a gentle giant, wasn't a huge guy, but he wasn't small like me, and he taught that strength in men is to protect those that can't be protected. You have an ability to help, or you may have more than somebody else. That ability is that you're supposed to use that to help those that are helpless, and use your power, your ability to help others, and may that energy be contagious. and spread to others and others and others. And we can change the world being the example that we want to see in people. You know, my father was love, and he said that all the prophets, the sum of all the religions that are taught is love, and that God is love and energy, and everlasting, undestroyable, ever-changing form energy of love and existence and peace. And I'm going to live that down as my father wanted me to. I've had my spats of crying on and off for the past 50 days since all this started. And I'm just very honored that's my father. Very honored. I love you guys all. Some of the faces that I saw for the first time and some of the faces that I've seen 1,000 times, it's never enough times. And my father would always talk about this quote from Buddha asking, how long is life? And he said, life is but a breath. Life is but a breath. In the second that you thought to think about the answer, that's how long the life is. It's every following millisecond, as if nothing's promised. And to live every one of those milliseconds as if you might not have another millisecond, to make sure that those people that you come in contact with understand that you cared about them, or however you felt about them, one way or another, because everybody you may care about, but you have to do it different ways. You know, some people don't mean you any good, but for those that do, and even for some of those that don't, you can still wish them good, but it's just in the way that you do it. It doesn't mean get yourself killed in the process. You want them to be better, and we want everybody to be better people for themselves and for the people around us. You know, I don't want to drag this on too much longer, but my father was a Marine. He was a preacher, and he was a good, great example of a man. You know, my father was very physical, very spiritual. He had an immense amount of patience, very soft-spoken, very slow to get angry. If I had to count the amount of times on my hand, other than me provoking it by being a bad boy, I needed a woman, I could really count maybe by the time I get to my toes, how many times I see my dad angry. You know, he just doesn't get like that. And then when he did, you know, it was to a point of almost no return. But it had to be something to really take him there. You know, it had to be really took there. He was very patient. He could take a lot, and just turn the other cheek and just keep kicking, especially if it was from the right people, you know, people close to him. He would just feel that that's something, a personal issue that somebody else needs to get over. He would never make it personal against that person. He would just feel like if somebody has a problem with you, it's not even that they're a bad person, that maybe they had bad experiences, and there's some things that they just need to be able to overcome, you know? So Ali, you need to love everybody and treat everybody with respect and expect respect from everybody. Be prepared for the worst, but expect the best, and never say can't, never say finna, you know, and always have a can-do attitude, and always say I can and I will. I can and I will. And I will take this in stride and walk with my head up and keep living for what my father lived for, spreading that peace and love and helping those that can't help themselves. Hopefully that they'll spread that same energy and will make the world a better place and make God's kingdom that come be a reality for all those that are in our presence. That's our mission in life. Thank you all for coming out. And my dad would be very happy to see all this. You know, we would. It's very touching. And thank you from the bottom of my father's heart. Thank you. That's all you're saying.
Next up, let's hear from Hakeem.
I guess I asked for it. So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm grateful to see all of you here. I'm going to try to keep it brief because, to be honest, I didn't think about saying anything here until I was asked, like maybe a day or two ago. But I'm gonna start off with something that we say at work a lot of times. 3 F's of maintenance, fit, form, and function. The reason why I bring that up is because as everybody here, I'm sure has loved and shared a lot of time with my grandpa in some shape, form, fit, function, or fashion. So for me, just like my dad said, my grandpa was a great mentor. I remember the first time I actually went to a mentorship that my grandfather had done for the youth. One of the things, this is also one of the greatest pieces of wisdom that he ever passed along to me, that honestly a lot more young Black men need to hear these days, is never to let your friends call you dog, because if they're calling you a dog, what does that make your mother? Now, one of the things that my grandpa absolutely passed to me was being patient. Because if you're not patient to do what you have to do, getting through what you have to do, going through all the hard work, all the suffering, the pain, all the grinding you gotta do, how are you gonna be able to do what you want to do? Like, I wanted to be a father since I was like 14 years old. Now here I am 10 years later. I've gone through all the pain from a few years ago, going through boot camp, going through with all the pain that I had on my legs, and crying, thinking, why did I get myself into this, man? This thing is hard. Like, I don't like it. And now, here I am. I made it through. I've gone up a couple ranks. I'm making money. And now I have a beautiful wife. Got a kid on the way. Got a dog at home. I have the money to get a new car. Be able to come down and see all. There's a lot of faces here. Some of which, just like my dad said, I've never seen some of you in my life. But I now see you here, a bunch of family that I haven't seen in a long time as well. I'm glad to have seen all you guys. Now, I really do hope that everybody can get through their grief together. Just like Chaplain said, or not Chaplain, but just like the Chaplain said, everybody goes through their grief in solitude. It happens individually, separate from everybody else. Sometimes you can grieve together if it's a similar grievance, but we will all mourn together. We will all cherish and remember his memory as best that we can. And another thing, just like the chaplain said, he's going to be resting in peace down here, but me and a lot of other Marines also know that he's not resting up there. Because when we made the pledge to become Marines, we agreed to a pledge to guard the streets of heaven. As a line in the Marine Corps hymn says, if the Army and the Navy ever look upon heaven's scenes, they'll see the streets are guarded by United States Marines. But the rest that he will get up there is when he's on his rest cycle, on his duty. But once again, I thank you all for coming. I love you all. And Grandpa, fair winds and following seas. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, AJ.
Well, I'll just start off by saying thank you to everyone. When I think back upon my father and the times we shared together, everyone knows in the family that I'm a hunter. My dad shared his passion of the outdoors and put it in me, and I grew up with it. So to say that me and my dad had a lot of long talks in the woods and on the water would be an understatement. The things he taught me, you could never learn anywhere else. My dad was so big on family that even when I'm not there, I feel everyone. And I'm going to share a story with you that I shared with my sister about my dad's passing. You just have to give me a minute for this, but on the 5th, when I saw my dad in the hospital, was the last time I could speak to him. When I walked in the room, I felt it. I knew that was the last time I was going to speak to him. It was an overwhelming feeling, and like the chaplain said, my dad was big on surrendering. So in that moment, I knew what it was. I walked out of the room. It's probably the first time my daughter seen me cry. And then fast forward to the 11th. It was roughly, I don't know, 2 something in the morning, I woke up in my bed in a sweat that I can't explain. I tossed, turned, told my daughter, my wife, something's happening. I tossed, turned, burnt up, burning, woke up drenched in sweat. We keep our house on 68 degrees. My mom will tell you, you need a sweater to walk around in my house at night. So I don't know what was wrong. I was in a panic attack at a level that I almost woke her up to take me to the hospital. I finally calmed down, got cool, laid in my bed about 4 in the morning. My phone rang from my sister. She asked her. I picked up on the first ring. She didn't need to tell me it was my dad. I felt his spirit transfer. I tell you this, my hand to God, that is exactly how it happened. I never woke up like that. I woke up in a sweat. She can tell you I didn't get a half a ring through. On that night, I realized and I surrendered to the feeling that you all need to realize, because we all in this world, the way it is today, we overlook the spiritual side of life. Okay? You feel your family. You feel your family. You feel them in the outdoors. You feel them in the wind. When you look outside, don't let this false world turn that off from you, because it's real. It's real. And I had to surrender to that night. So going on with what my father meant and what he lived for, it was that. It was accepting life the way it is and accepting the feelings that you have and letting that shine your light into the world. My dad, I can say I know every person in this room he shared wisdom with. That was my dad. You would sometimes get sick of hearing him talk because it was so long-winded, but after you were done and you got your ears back, you could honestly say that you left there wiser, more caring, and moved forward from him. His presence in a room was undeniable. And like my brother always said, that man had so many ways of touching people. He always taught us as a young man that we were supposed to treat the help just like you would a king. We never looked past a single person. That's what my dad lived for. I'll share another story that for you. I get offended when they call us park rangers because we're conservation law enforcement officers. I have a sworn oath to this state like any other law enforcement officer. But on the day that I graduated, I got an award that is not given to everyone. And when my dad is emotional, and when I graduated and I walked across the stage and got in with my badge, my dad could not stop crying. He could not stop crying. And I didn't know why. And then at the end, I went down and I talked to him. My dad told me a story about when he went through school to be a park ranger in the academy in Kentucky. And he graduated academy and they gave him a uniform. And they didn't give him a gun. There was 3 other blacks in that academy class that they didn't give guns. And he told me, son, you're doing what I had dreamt to do. And I heard my dad say that on several occasions with me and my scuba diving, but something about that day was different. He said, they told me that the whites in this area of Kentucky weren't ready to see blacks with the gun. So when he saw me standing there, he hugged me like I had never felt before. And I realized he is proud of his family and he has every right to be. And he's always big on that. So when I see my aunts and my uncle here, and I was speaking to them about watching time fold and the time with spaces between, and that you realize who are your true loved ones in this world and the people that you really care about, because the time in between that fold may not matter. It's the fact that when you see them and the envelope folds and the pages come together, you guys just pick up wherever you left off. There's no love lost in time because time moves forward. And I know that my dad would want us to move forward. And it's hard because it's in our selfish grief. We mourn that we wish my father was still here. But if you bear witness like I did, he's in a better place right now. And with my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my aunts and uncles that passed before him, We have more people than you know, and you have more energy in this world looking out for you. So if you wanted to do anything for my father and honor his name, that would be when you move forward in life from this day forth. I don't want you to look past one person that you see that you may think is in a lesser position than you, because they may have a feeling of joy that you don't. So I want you to just honor him by looking on everyone as an equal. Because like my dad said, there's no big eyes, there's no big eyes and no little U's. So when you walk through this world, just remember that's another human being and to treat them with love. My dad took all of our friends. Any one of my friends can tell you that's sitting here, you are all his children. The same way God looks over us all as we're all his children, no matter who you are or where you come from. So if I just ask that you all honor my dad in that same way, is knowing that we're all connected. Whether you like the person, whether they're black, white, red, gay, straight, any, love that person, because God is love. Energy passes on, and we're all together in this, no matter how we look at it. And that's all I have to say. I love you all.
All right, we have heard from the brother, we've heard from the sons, we've heard from the grandson, now we've heard from the daughter, Naira.
I had all this stuff I was gonna say.
Together.
Okay. So you heard Allie say, he only makes boys. That is the truth. Clearly. But when my daddy came into my life, I was 4, 5. I fell in love.
Take your time.
He was the love of my life. I didn't know what that meant for. But it was him. And they heard you say humility. Stay humble. No H. Humble.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, when he was taking them to the barber shop, talking, getting a haircut, I was in the car. I was sitting there talking to all these homeless people. Right? It really mattered. Why are we here? Drop it off, let's go home. And come back. No, it didn't work. And I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful that, yes, I'm the oldest, but with these two, but he never raised me like a tomboy, right? He raised me to be the woman I think he thought a woman should be. Respectful, graceful, integrity, intelligence, and all the things that he thought a woman should be. And I am so grateful to have been his daughter. And when he says, stay humble, I really am. And with that being said, yes, you heard about the sleep plan. Everybody knows about sleep plan. But he was my #1 Facebook fan. I don't have anyone else to like these lame ass posts. Heart, Albert Harris, heart. He was he was a counselor. I am a rock from his mouth. And I cannot. Humility is one thing, but for me, the biggest gift he gave me was unconditional love. He brought me into his world and loved me. He would say, there's only steps in houses, right? That's it. There was no, I was his daughter, period. There was no, we're not talking about, there's no question, that was it. And not only did he show me unconditional love, I felt it. I can truly stand up here and say, he loved me unconditionally. And when I say I'm gonna miss him, yes, he is. He was so happy. When he moved out on his own, I had to make sure he's gonna be taken care of. At the time, he wasn't married, but it was still my responsibility to take care of my daddy. So I had the conversation with him. I had to talk. Daddy, what do you want done? Like, oh, baby girl, screw my asses. No, Daddy. what you really want done, right? You know, I'm in the medical field, we have to have those hard conversations. I did not want to be that person, because all y'all be looking at me and I read, aren't you the one in medicine? Like, shouldn't you know? No, I had the conversation with him. So when we're doing this and we're celebrating his life, I know this is what he wanted. He loves all of you. And other than his family, an obligatory family who's supposed to be here, everyone else is our second. You interacted with him secondary. You met him in some other way, shape, or form, right? It's other than Pastor Tony, which left, I mean, no offense, but like everyone else is not his friend. He impacted you in some sort of way through us, right? You're here for him, not for us. You're AJ's best friend. You know, they're my friends. They're here for him. You know, and that's the type of man he was. Like, he loved through extensions. And I want us to do that. I want us to keep on. They say, you know, grief is a form of love, right? And we are going to be grieving his loss. But he still lives through all of us unconditionally. So please celebrate his life. We will never forget him, and he will always be my daddy.
Everyone, allow me to introduce myself. I'm a comedian, Clyde Gordon. BET's Comic View, HBO Def Comedy Jams, and Tyler Perry's Meet the Brands. This past December, I was voted as one of the top Michael Jackson voice impersonators in the United States. I was supposed to be a Michael Jackson voiceover in the movie that is coming out in April. They decided to do it with AI. With that said, while they're passing out this, I want to do this song. I want to do this song for the family, if you guys don't mind. If you guys know the chorus, you can help sing with me. All right? There we go. Great, here we go. Another day is gone, and I'm still all alone. How could this be that you're not here with me? You never say goodbye. Someone tell me why. Did you have to go? Didn't leave my world so cold. Every day I did it as myself. I did my slipping. And something whispers in my ear and says that you are not alone. Lying here with you, though you're far away, I am here to stay. You are not alone. Thank you. So guys, what we did is we just put some champagne on the table into a man of honor, into a man that's getting to touch so many, and it's been so much. We're gonna toast. Guys, if you would, hold your glasses up here. Ms. Harris, you have touched so much, you have touched so many, and the voices and the words spoken in this room, may they touch everyone, and may they carry you, and may the memories stay with you and guide you through life. Here's to you. Now, everyone, the floor is open for the ones that hasn't been called on. If you want to say something in honor, you can do so now. Again, the floor is open if you want to say something.
A lot of you don't know me. I come from a different family. I didn't have a dad growing up, but I did have a lot of men mentor me in my life, and I don't think there's any other manly figure that's capable of mentoring another human being other than Grandpa. I don't remember a lot of stories, but I know he taught me a lot, something that I cherished on from throughout my life. And I heard a quote this morning that I want to leave you all with is, people will bring you flowers when you're at your funeral, but won't bring you soup when you're sick. And I say that to say that myself and Ayala experienced a school shooting. Some of you may not know that, but it took years to get over. I say that to say that this is not over yet. So make sure that you check in with each other years after this, because it's going to last a long time. That's all I got.
I just wanted to say something real quick. So many of you know, may or may not know, Grandpa always wore an ankh. An ankh was very special to him. I think it represented strength, courage, wisdom, and humility, what he represented. So in honor of Grandpa, if you can, all the grandkids stand up. You're gonna receive an ankh necklace from Grandpa. And always remember how much he loved you and how important you are to him. Okay, that's from Grandpa.
I guess I'm a goddess now.
We'll get you the right one. That's
Anyone else? Anyone else have any words? All right. I was gonna dance, but they didn't get the music right. So what I'm gonna do is on the screen here, they're gonna post some of my model pictures. So y'all want to see that either, but no, this is awesome, and I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it. How y'all doing over there? Good. So again, I was able to be a part of it, and I do appreciate that. Again, just to see so much love in the room is amazing. It's amazing. So once again, being invited to MC it. Even through a cracked voice, I was able to do it. So, I didn't cry. I told you I lift weights. So y'all probably can't tell that because the shirt's big. I have been working out. So, I'm not as big as Alex, though. Alex looks like he works out. But I feel really good, too. No, just, okay. No. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah. See, but yeah, so I appreciate y'all, man, for allowing me to stand before you and speak. I thank you for the invitation. I'm watching myself on the screen. I don't look good at all. So, I wasn't expected to see me, but okay. So yes, this is nice. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for putting up with me. And say I didn't cry. And thank you for your service. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. You serve too? Thank you for your service. Oh, y'all serve? Oh, yes. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Like all the veterans stand up for me real quick. All the veterans stand up for me. Jamie, that's right, you serve this, all the veterans stand up. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you. And law enforcement, thank you for your service. Hey, it's a war at home. Right? Thank you. Thank you. I really do. I respect that. I appreciate it. I didn't serve. I was scared. scared.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah. I was scared. I couldn't do it. So I seen the movie. So I couldn't do it. So, you know, in school, they used to have to make you do them pull-ups on the monkey bar. I'm like, no, see, if they make you do more than that, and no, I couldn't do it. So I decided to go the other direction. Became a PE teacher. So I served. So yes, I served. But this is nice. Like I said, this is nice. So I'm glad, man, to see the younger generation getting ready to, you know, come up from behind and take over. That's awesome. That's awesome. Seeing you in uniform, so young is amazing. That's amazing.
Hey, my coworkers call me Uncle, all right?
No, that your coworker call you what?
My coworkers call me Uncle.
They call you Uncle? Oh, wow. At 24?
19, 18-year-old.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, I don't know if being called Uncle at 24 is awesome.
In my back hurt, I might as well be one.
Okay, right? What's going on, man? How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? Nah, I'm just saying hi. I ain't gonna mess with you guys. I saw you staying up early. You're taller than me. So but this is nice. This is nice. So and like I said earlier before that I am the Michael Jackson voice impersonator, voice impressionist. I've been singing Michael Jackson since I was 6 years old. I was up in the middle of the night when I was supposed to be sleeping, looking at a TV show that was on called The Midnight Special. I was 6 years old, and Wolfman Jack was the host, and it was the Jacksons was on singing "Blame It on the Boogie," and the rest is history. I've been a fan since, and yeah, I don't dance anymore ever since I got this. So. This used to be a lot smaller than this. So I guess if I would have went to the military, I would have got rid of this. Huh?
Hey, they used to keep it shuffle easier when you got turned.
No, don't. Sometimes this is the last part to get around. So, but this is nice. I do. Again, I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. I'll be back. I want to be in the family. Anybody adopted? No, speaking once, but think about it. So, but if y'all are interested in adopting a 56-year-old man, speak up. All right, no, you need a minute. That'd be it. I mean,
Come with a tax credit?
Actually, I was hoping yours was better than mine. You know, just kind of make it work. But okay. So it's nice. Like I said, y'all like to hear another Michael Jackson song? Y'all like?
Sure.
I just have a family that actually wants to finish live, and I would like to take a picture of the whole group.
Oh, okay. So yes.
When possible, if everyone can make their way where Clyde is.
Yeah, we're me. I'm gonna sing as y'all come up here.
Okay.
Don't run there.
I ain't running into this. I'm getting shocked as it is.
No, I'm gonna sing afterwards. I'm scared.
Say goodbye.
Hi everyone, thank you guys for coming to the event. We're gonna take a group picture and I'm gonna say goodbye.